I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports card show pickups video. I just recently went to a mall card show and I had some pretty good success. I'm going to share those with you, so we're going to jump right into this. And the first item, we'll kind of start off small and work our way up to the big reveal here for the big items. And the first one is very simple. I found a seller that was selling 5 for $1 cards, so 20 cents a piece, and they were St. Louis Cardinals cards, so I just picked up some St. Louis Cardinals cards that I thought were pretty neat. Here's a couple Paul Goldschmidt Topps Archives. These are from the Topps Total set, and those aren't that easy to come by. But I thought for 20 cents a piece, I'd pick a few up. There's a Miles Mikolas. There is a Genesis Cabrera. Here's a John Brebbia, who's no longer with the Cardinals, but I didn't have a card of him, so I grabbed that. Here's randomly Yadier Molina, again 20 cents a piece. There's a second Topps Total Yadier Molina. Here is a Giovanni Gallegos ×2, and again I didn't have anything with Gallegos as a Cardinal, so I grabbed those. And finally another Genesis Cabrera. So again, like I said, these were only 20 cents a piece. The Topps Total cards are not that easy to find, so I thought $2 worth, what the heck. Alright, so moving on to the next stack. The next table that I went to actually had dollar cards, like boxes, a couple 5,000 count boxes, actually 4 or 5,000 count boxes of dollar cards. And 95% of the cards were like 2019 and up. So, you're talking Bowman, a few Bowman, some, Panini, on down the list. And it was football, basketball, and baseball. And I want to say there was even a little bit of racing and hockey in there, but I didn't look through those. I skipped over the football pretty quickly, but a vintage card popped out at me. And that was a Anthony Munoz rookie card. Well, I guess it was the lighting in the mall or whatever, but at closer examination, you can see that there's writing on the top of the Munoz rookie card. Thus why it probably was only $1. But for only $1, I felt that was a steal, and I actually got these for less than $1 each. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But the lone basketball card that I got was a Michael Porter Jr. rookie card. I was going through the rookies, and there were tons and tons of rookies there, like Porter Jr., no Zion Williamsons or anything like that, but, I remember seeing a couple Bowls and, just that kind of stuff. And Porter Jr. was the only one that I landed on because he's from Missouri. I actually happened to run into him recently at an event, so I wanted to grab his rookie card. Now the rest of these I thought were a fair deal. This is a Pete Alonso Topps Update rookie card. And again, Pete has other rookie cards, but this is the update version from, that year. Second is a Topps Chrome Rookie Cup Fernando Tatis Jr. I thought with the Rookie Cup in the corner, that's pretty cool. For only $1, it's Topps Chrome. Why not? It's got to be worth at least $1. And finally, I found these prospects in there, and this is a Bowman 100 Henry Davis, which Henry Davis is a top prospect in the Pirates organization right now. This is a Bowman in 3D Jordan Lawler card, which Jordan was a first-round pick of the Diamondbacks, and he's currently working his way up through the organization, and hopefully I get a chance to see him and ask him to sign that someday, barring a trade or anything like that. And finally, I'm going to see this guy in a couple weeks again. And if you remember, I shared my Baseball America that I got signed in person a couple weeks ago. And this is a Emerson Hancock Bowman Platinum, I believe. And it's not serial numbered, but it's still a nice shiny, purpley, refractory, whatever you want to call it. So all of these cards, okay, These were out of the dollar box. The guy charged me $5 for the whole stack. So I actually got them for less than $1 a piece. Talk about a steal. So that was that pickup out of those boxes. Now on his table he also had some autographs. And the autographs were a pretty good deal too. They were $3 a piece, or I think he said 4 for 10. So $3 a piece or 4 for 10. Well, I of course picked out 5 that I wanted, and I think he wound up charging me $12 maybe for the entire stack. I don't quite remember, but they weren't just autographs; they were also game used. And I found this holiday Randy Arozarena patch card. I thought that was cool with the snowman on there, and this is, obviously out of the Topps Holiday series. I'm kind of a Randy Arozarena fan. I had the luxury of getting to see him play when he was in the minor leagues before he got traded. So, given that there was a snowman on there, my wife and I both know who he is. So I kind of bought that for me and my wife to share that card with her because it was so unique. So I thought that was neat. A couple basketball returns. This isn't a TTM video. A couple basketball autographs that I got was a Panini Prism Darius Miles of the Clippers and the Cavs, etc. Darius is actually from the area where I grew up, so I've been following his career most of my life. I've got a couple other autographs of his, but very cool to add another one to the collection. Also, Andre Drummond on a very nice autograph right there. The big man that was a long-time Detroit Piston big man. He's one of those, I don't want to say, I want to compare him to like Charles Oakley or Horace Grant. Very, very good player. Probably not a Hall of Famer. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's won any championships or anything like that. But I look at him as kind of like a Charles Oakley, Horace Grant type. A good player, an all-star, just probably not a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. And finally, one of my favorite big men growing up as a kid, Will Perdue himself, that probably has the nicest signature in the history of any NBA autograph, in my opinion. Him and maybe Bob Pettit. Bob Pettit had some nice autographs too. But look at every single letter, Will Perdue, on, I guess that's a Panini Prism of some sort, and it is numbered. It is not numbered. So not serial number, but an orange Panini Prism Will Perdue autograph, which I haven't ever gotten Will Perdue's autograph. He's not a TTMer. I haven't seen him do any signings. I mean, I'm sure he does, but for for less than $3, how could you go wrong? And finally, to round out the group, to make 5, 1960s Pirates legend Vernon Law on his Topps archives, I guess. I'm not really sure if that's archives, but if you remember that card, I actually had the 5x7 version of that card that I featured on this channel that Mr. Law inscribed for me and put, Cy Young Award, 1960 World Series champs, etc. So not a bad little pickup here, all for $12. So roughly, a little over $2 an autograph. Can't beat that. All right, so another table that I bought a bunch of autographs from. This is all that I got. Again, jersey memorabilia cards. Initially, the box said $5 a piece. However, I was able to obviously talk them down, about $10 actually. And I picked up 7 cards from this table for $25. So I thought that was more than fair of a price. So let me just jump right into this. And the first one that I got was current Cardinals pitcher Steven Matz. I had never gotten Steven Matz's autograph before. He was a big free agent signing of the St. Louis Cardinals. He came up through the Mets organization mainly, and I just never had a chance to get him. So I thought this was a steal at the price for the $25 that I grouped this in with. I also got former Rookie of the Year Texas Longhorn, Oakland A great, Houston Street. Houston Street, you know, I also saw in person at one point in his career when he first got drafted. Got him to sign a couple cards for me in person, but I've always been a fan of Houston Street. He just kind of petered out there, you know, after his debut in the majors, and very, very happy to add a cert to my collection. We'll stay with baseball here. I grabbed a Vladimir Guerrero Sr. patch card, and this one's pretty unique because that's him as a Baltimore Oriole. And he did not play very long for the Baltimore Orioles, so I thought that was kind of neat. I kind of semi-collect Vlad Sr. You know, it's not something that I do hardcore, like I have to buy every single card that he owns. But if I see a nice one that I like, especially a jersey or a bat card, I definitely pick it up on the cheap. I also picked up Rookie of the Year Angel Baroja. Angel Baroja was Rookie of the Year with the Royals. That was probably the peak of his career, to say it nicely. But it's always nice to get a Rookie of the Year autograph. With that said, multi-star Carl Crawford I picked up. I don't even know what kind of card that is. Looks like a Fleer Tradition or Fleer. It's a 2006 Fleer. But there's a Carl Crawford autograph. If you guys have followed the baseball draft, his son just got drafted. Finally, this guy is a dark horse, in my opinion, for a Hall of Famer in the NBA or Basketball Hall of Fame. And who am I talking about other than Walter Davis? Walter Davis was a long-time NBA player, mainly for the Phoenix Suns back in the 70s. He played all the way through the early 1990s. I want to say he wrapped it up with Portland or Denver. But this was one of those long-time guys that was a mainstay for a long time. It's just unfortunately the Phoenix Suns weren't a very good team at the time that he played for them, so he's kind of overshadowed. But if you look at his career numbers, they're right up there. And I have to say, when I just mentioned Will Perdue, he's got some pretty good handwriting too. I'd say Will Perdue and Walter Davis, they definitely went to grammar school and took their time in writing their name. A lot better than me, that's for sure. But, you know, so very happy to get this. Now this final one, I actually have his autograph already. But anytime I see somebody like this, I always grab it, especially if it's cheap. And if you don't know the story of this individual, definitely Google his name because there's all kinds of news media stories about this. And this, I'm talking about former Memphis Tiger and Memphis Grizzly Lorenzen Wright on a certified autographed, genuine, authentic, I think they were called, GA, if I recall. But this was when Lorenzen was in college, right before he started his NBA career. And if you don't know Lorenzen's story, he was actually murdered shortly thereafter or during his playing career had ended. And it was an unsolved homicide for many years. There's many Datelines, 2020s, news stories out there about it. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm very happy to add Lorenzen's autograph to the collection again. Like I said, I think I have another one already, but anytime I see one on the cheap, I always grab them because Lorenzen, his story is so tragic, and you know, you can't get his autograph anymore, obviously, other than these certified issues. So we'll move on to the next group. All right, so this next group, we're going to shift gears a little bit and get away from autographs for a minute, but we'll come back to them. This is a stack of vintage cards that I found at the promoter's table. I always go to his table. I always try to buy a stack of vintage, but unfortunately, somebody beat me to him this time. And I was not aware that somebody else was gunning for the vintage cards other than myself. So despite that, I still find a pretty big stack of vintage cards, but normally I walk away with 3 stacks this tall. But I'll show you what I picked up. So this 1969 Astros rookie stars. I picked up 3 copies with Tom Griffin and Skip Gwynn on there, and both of them are TTMers, so I plan on getting those out. The rest of these are just guys for TTM, so hopefully you'll be seeing these in upcoming videos coming up. You know, like I said, these are all very good signers through the mail. Some that I've gotten through the mail, like Repose already, Casey Cox. You know, I've gotten Laren LeGros before, but I still need to get Gene Lamont. Dave Baldwin I've gotten. I won't show you that one. I actually got the Dan Coombs rookie card along with his other card there. And like I said, this is just nothing spectacular or anything like that. Just guys that I thought I could get through the mail and share with you on my channel, like Tom Egan there. There's another Ron Hansen, the all-time Oriole. You know, so again, you know, not a huge stack of cards. I think I paid $15 for the stack, somewhere in that neighborhood. But moving on to the next one. So my other vintage seller that I buy from almost every time I go there, I didn't get a huge stack of stuff, but quality over quantity this time. And I picked up a couple rookie cards just to have in my collection, but also some stuff to send through the mail. So we'll start with, just for the collection stuff, I grabbed a Ron Mix card, and I thought that was a pretty neat card. It was nice and cheap. It was only about 60 cents, so I thought that was a deal. I picked up a Greg Nettles rookie card, which I thought that was fair enough, only for a couple bucks. More importantly, I picked up a Lou Whitaker rookie card, and this was about $2.50. So not a bad pickup there for sweet Lou Whitaker rookie for only $2.50. And the rest of these I got for TTM purposes, and that is a 67 rookie star with Singer and Campanis. Both of them are pretty good active signers, TTM. This is Al Spangler. There's another John O'Brien, Denny Rybent, and there's a Jim Gentile. So again, not a huge, you know, number of cards here, but I paid like $10 for the whole stack because I grouped them with these. And this is the find of the show, okay? I'm going to spoil this for the find of the show real quick. In my opinion, unbelievably, in all of my pursuits of autographs, everything, I've just never had the opportunity to either purchase or see this person in person. And in all of my collecting years, I never traded for one, I never bought one, I never had a chance to get them in person. So I saw these at this seller's table, and I'm like, oh man, I happen to collect these oversized cards. And he's like, well, are you interested? I got a stack, and he had a couple in there that I already had, like Cardinals, like Jack Clark, Tommy Herr. And I'm like, well, I'm not really interested in those, but I'm interested in these. And who am I talking about other than Milwaukee Brewers Hall of Famer Robin Yount on a 1985 Action All-Star autographed right there in blue Sharpie. So not only did he have that, he had a Donruss Champions as well signed, and he also had a couple of, I want to say, the 84 Action All-Stars. It's the pinkish reddish border ones. He also had those, so I had to choose, okay, which ones do I want? And I felt these were the ones that were in the best condition with the Sharpie and whatever. I think he had another 85 there, but the Sharpie wasn't as bold. It was kind of streakish. So I said, you know what are you asking for those? He said 25 each. I said 25 each. I said that's not bad for a Hall of Famer Robin Yount. I mean, you try to get his autograph now, I mean, you're probably easily paying 40, 50, 60 bucks, you know, to get this signed. I said, I'll tell you what, how about 20 apiece if I take 2 of them from you? And he thought about it, he hemmed and hawed, and he's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do 20 apiece. So I was able to talk them down to $20 each for each of the Robin Younts, plus $10 for the stack of vintage that I just showed you. So $50 is what I spent at this vendor's table, which I thought was more than fair for 2 Hall of Fame Robin Yount oversized signed cards And as many of you know, I love collecting these. So these are going to find a good place in my collection moving forward. So I'm almost finished. I got one more table that I visited. So let me just move these to the side real quick and I'll show you those. We'll just throw them over here. You guys can go up there. Just making room here so we can showcase them a little bit better. So literally, I'm on the phone calling my wife saying I'm walking out the door. I almost spent all my cash, so I need to leave before I spend the rest of it. And I come across a table, a new vendor I'd never seen before, set up at the mall, and I'm like, hup, I gotta stop. So I stopped there, and again, $5 autographs. So $5 autographs, game used, that kind of thing. So I start leafing through it, and there's a lot of football in there, like current football, nothing that really interests me, but I came across 3 Hall of Fame football players in this box for only $5 a piece. So these 5 Hall of Famers that I got for only $5 each on Leaf Hall of Fame signature cards were Minnesota Viking great Ron Yeri, Miami Dolphins legend Larry Little, and finally, I apologize if I pronounce his name incorrectly, but Buffalo Bills legend Joe Delamure, hopefully I'm saying that right, Joe Delamure, on his Leaf Hall of Fame signature card as well. So all 3 of these, $5 each, $15 total. I pulled the last $20 bill out of my wallet because I was down to 20 bucks at that point. I handed the guy my last 20 and I left the card show with only $5 cash left in my pocket. So I got home, I brought my bag in, my wife's like, you spent all your money? I said, no, I have $5 still. So she's like, I gave you blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I know. But I found some good deals and I was very happy. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I picked up a ton of autographs at this show. I also picked up a good stack of TTM, TTM fuel, I guess we'll call it. But just check out this pile of cards that I got, including the Hall of Famer Robin Yount on 2 of 2, Action All-Stars there. And let's not forget these current guys as well with the Pete Alonso and everything else. And let's not forget the Dollar Cardinals. So thank you for watching another episode of my card show pickups. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your favorite was this episode. I look forward to your comments below. And as always, happy collecting.